Welcome to Food Mods. Today we are going to be making a fantastic recipe that you probably haven't had in a while since you have dietary restrictions. We're going to be making salmon cakes, but these are like crab cakes or fish cakes. I'm just using salmon today. They're very simple, only a few ingredients. You can absolutely do this, and what's great about them is that you can make them ahead, you can eat them hot or cold, and you can take them with you. They travel really well. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get my salmon out of the oven. I went ahead and cooked it plain, just easy peasy at 350 for about 20 minutes. I have 3 people in my family, so this is gonna serve us 3. Just regular salmon. And I'm gonna leave the oven on because we're gonna use that in just a minute, and I need it preheated anyway. The salmon is gonna cool just a little bit. It's just cooked just enough, okay? We don't want it to dry out. So the first thing we're gonna do is mix our dry ingredients. Remember, I always say mix your dry then your wet. I'm using millet flour because it is lectin free, and that's really important to me because of my dietary needs. But if you have almond flour or if you have coconut flour, whatever alternative flour that you like, it should work fine. This is a very flexible recipe. You just need something to hold it together. So in a medium-sized bowl, I'm gonna just add my millet flour, and then I'm gonna add all my spices. I pre-measured. This has 6 different spices in it. If you can see all those colors. These are spices that are staples in your home. So there's nothing wild, there's nothing crazy that you think, what kind of store do I have to go to? You should really have these on hand anyway, so I encourage you to make sure that you do. And you can see the recipe below to see what I just put in there. Now I'm gonna use a fork. It's important that you use a fork for this. I'm just gonna mix my millet flour and my seasonings. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is add my salmon. This is where the fork comes in. The fork is going to make the salmon flake, and you wanna have that wonderful flake when you make the cakes instead of like a paste. So it's still hot, so I'm gonna put it in here. And they're nice and moist. They're not dried out. And then we're gonna flake that up. And that's just a stab and twist, kind of a motion. And it's very hot, it's steaming, so I wanna kinda get it cooled off a little and get it a little bit coated in that flour. We do add an egg to this recipe. However, if you are egg free, you can use one of your common egg substitutes, or honestly, you could just skip it and use a little bit of extra liquid. So my liquid is coconut milk today. You can use almond milk, kind of whatever you have. It's such a flexible recipe. Any flaking fish will do. So if you want to get crab or you want to get a white fish, that is fine. I use salmon because it is easier to get salmon in a wild caught form, and that's better for health. So next I'm gonna add my egg now that this is flaked and coated. It only took a moment, but I don't add my egg with the straight out of the oven salmon because it will scramble my egg. And then I'm gonna add my coconut milk on there. If you wanted to add Parmesan cheese, this would be the time as well, and I would just add maybe an ounce or so. You know, if you're a cheese lover, kind of add what you want. And then you're gonna create this sort of sticky, pasty mixture. It's not very pretty yet, but it's sort of a sticky, pasty mixture. Now, I'm gonna bring you over here and show you how to scoop this onto a pan. We're almost done. It doesn't get any easier than that. So now I've got my parchment covered flat cookie sheet. You won't have to wash this pan. It's worth it to get this. My oven's preheated at 350. These are only gonna take 15 minutes. They're perfect on a bed of lettuce, and then you could make a very simple dynamite sauce with sriracha and mayo, just 50-50. If you like a little spice, they are delicious if you want to dip them in ranch, or just eat them on a salad or eat them with your dinner. They also are great cold, so if you want to take them to work and have a good fish meal at work but not reheat it, these are perfect for that. So I'll see you back in 15 minutes with the most delicious fish cakes you've ever had. Welcome back. My salmon cakes are ready to come out of the oven, so let's grab them. Don't forget your pot holder. I love parchment paper because I don't have to wash this pan. It's pretty exciting. All right, while those cool enough for me to touch them, I do want to give you some more options again on the filler for this. So you could use crab if you purchase a high quality crab. Just make sure that you get that same quantity of meat. You can even use chicken. You would cook your chicken probably in the crock pot so that it shreds. Pre-cook it, shred it, make sure that you have that moisture content that you would of the fish. You saw what the batter is supposed to look like, so if you need to add in a little more liquid, you can. It just doesn't need to be too dry. You can add any flaking fish that you like, or you could chop up shrimp or something like that. So they're pretty hot, but they lift right off the pan. As you can see, they're hot, but they're solid. This size, this 1/4 cup size, is the perfect size for them to not fall apart. So you may think, well, I want a bigger cake than that. Better to just make more than to make them larger, because they will start breaking and falling apart. These hold together beautifully, and I'll break one apart for you to show you. It's just all meaty and herbs, and it smells amazing. So they're delicious to eat right now, or they're delicious to make ahead, and you can also freeze them. I would cut up this piece of parchment paper and put a little square in between each one, and you could freeze it and have it in 2 weeks if you wanted. So I hope you enjoy your salmon cakes. Leave me a comment when you try them. Tell me if you love them. And of course, if I use a spice or an herb that you don't like, just omit it. They are just for seasoning. The basics of having an egg or egg substitute, having a flour substitute, and having a little bit of liquid in that coconut milk or milk of choice. It's really all you need, and then the seasonings are your choice. So leave me a comment, tell me if you love it.